question for you is about resource management in the province of British Columbia, because we are such a resource-dependent economy. And I think so my question is, what are the key messages that you would want to share with British Columbians about Green Party policies, given the fact that the coastal forest industry is in decline, given the fact that our interior forests are being ravaged by pine beetle, and the government is rolling out mining licenses in the wake of beetle, and then sort of in light of a lot of the economic boom happening in the northeastern province around oil and gas. You can choose to address fish farming if that's something, but basically, what are the top messages that you think are important for British Columbians to hear about your policies around resource management?
All right, this time we'll start with Damien. We'll go right every other speaker.
Well, Darcy, I'm a big believer in investing in value-added industries. And so when it comes to, obviously the Green Party's known for a long time that there's a limited amount of lumber out there. And personally, I've been advocating for the end of old growth logging in coastal forests for about 10 years. But what we can do is invest in remechanizing our mills to ensure that we can get more value out of the products that we do have. And so ensuring that we enhance our world position in wood manufacturing positions, like as far as doors, frames, art pieces. And then as far as the resource management is concerned for oil and gas, we need to ensure that there's proper economic systems that go into measuring the clean air and the waste that comes from the methane coal bed projects, and ensure that we take into consideration ecological capital when measuring the impacts of these projects.
Jane.
So you've asked a huge question, and there's all kinds of industries that need to be fundamentally reformed and made more sustainable. And in forestry, we need to look at sustainable forestry practices. We need to treat old growth as a resource for climate change. I think we could make an argument that deforestation is contributing to climate change, and so we need to halt the logging of any old growth forests. We need to move to sustainable forestry, community-owned lots, local log markets, all of those things that are Green Party policy. I think one of the things that we need to propose is that we stop all perverse subsidies for industry. There's all kinds of ways that we're supporting oil and gas industries, the forestry industries, through road building, through tax credits. We need to stop that stuff. We need to move taxes onto the things that we don't want. And we need to not support the industries that are killing us.
Jack will be next.
I think once again, I would support what the people of BC want. And I think what people want is a much better system than what we have today. I think if people could vote, we'd stop, the fish farms would be gone immediately. I think people would support the end to logging in coastal forests and a great reduction everywhere else in the province. Protection of watersheds everywhere in the province. I'd like a referendum on getting rid of the logging companies, just removing their hold on the land tenures and they've done a terrible job in every way. And communities can take back the land and hopefully manage for the long term. I think they would tend to do that. There may be no such thing as sustainable forestry. We don't know. The only reason we talk about sustainable forestry in this province is that all the numbers are completely phony. So they tell us there's such a thing, but there may not be.
That's a huge question. I could say that what we need to do is use the principle of tax shifting from bad things, polluting things, killing things, into innovative industries that are solution-oriented instead of creating more of a problem. We need to grow an ecologically based economy. The ecology is the bottom line of that three-part share that we need to be stable as a society, to have true sustainability. Without an ecology that is intact, we will have no economy. Without a world we can live in, there will be no life. I would like to move to watershed-based municipal boundaries. I think that would be a good logical and ecological way of managing our resources in terms of what is found in a watershed, not only in terms of water, but all the diversity and the human beings that depend on it. And I agree with Damien and all the others that we must stop logging, and what little old growth is left, we already have a surplus of what's being logged in the pine beetle kiln. We should be concentrating on using that logically.
Ben?
Who's next?
Ben?
It's a great question, Darcy. Thanks for it. Ecosystem-based management is the crux of it. We need to understand that we live in a system-based world, and if we're making policy that doesn't recognize those existing systems and the implications of every decision as they play out within an ecosystem, then we're not really making intelligent decisions. Part of the answer to this question, I think, is ecological literacy. I think we need to look at ecology in the same way that we look at arithmetic and the way we look at spelling and grammar. If we don't have a citizenry that understands basic ecological principles, then we're never really going to solve the problems. And it's not just a matter of subtracting environmental costs. It's really a matter of looking at sustaining living systems. So, I mean, if we don't take an ecological systems approach, we're never going to get to the solutions. Also, we need to look a bit more at renewable resource investment. I think this province could be the laboratory for the world in terms of the development of renewable energy technology, and could make a lot better use of the renewable resources that we have just as bountifully as we have non-renewable resources.